YouTube, I tried the Sicilian Dragon Defense for the very first time last night. Now, what I mean by that is I watched a couple YouTube videos, thought it looked really cool and fun, and thought that I could just hop on and do pretty good with it, right? So uh, I hopped on, I gave it a shot. This is what this game review is going to be. It's one of my games from late last night. I like sharing some of my games. It's a good learning experience for me to see the things that I did good and wrong. Same for my opponent. And of course, being new to chess, if there's things that I missed, I know that you guys will chime in and kind of provide some instruction there. So without further ado, a little Sicilian Dragon for the very first time. We're going to go to the game review here. We'll see kind of how much this dude talks. Sometimes he helps.
This lets your bishop step into the game.
Hold on.
You turned a tough game around with a decisive mid-game checkmate attack.
Here we go. Here we go. Start review.
This lets your bishop step. You turned a tough game around with a decisive mid-game checkmate attack.
Okay, so I stuck pretty much to the idea of getting developed on the king side, castling, and then going from there. Uh, like I said, a couple of the videos I watch, it looks like your king is really snug over there, man. Very well protected. And then you can kind of use your pieces and go out and start developing some tactics. Now, as a new player, that's not as easy as it sounds, right? Because my tactics is just, if you ever watch like First Blood, Sylvester Stallone, he's spraying and praying. That's me throwing pieces down the board. But I do really like this defense as far as protecting the king.
This opening move is popular for its versatility and control of the center.
We're gonna mute this guy for just a second. So pretty much it's whenever your opponent plays e-file, open up c5 into d6, contesting the center control there. That's what I was able to figure out from it. And also, as we go on, develop our knight, then we go g6, then we move our bishop to g7. Hey, man, this bishop here is nice, but just watch. And then from there, you can castle, right? You develop really quick. You get a bishop in play. You get a knight in play. You're fighting for mid-control with your pawns on the right side. And then you castle, right? And your king's really tucked in there nice and snug. I love it. Absolutely love it. And also, they say that this pawn structure resembles a dragon. I'll take their word for it. I'm thinking camel. You got the hump, long neck. I'm thinking camel. But for the sake of the name being really cool, it attracted me. The dragon. Okay, like I said, once again, we castled. Apparently, taking this was the play. I looked at that earlier and was like, man, why? Why is that good? Yeah, you're going to lose the knight, but you get a free bishop. See, it's little things like that once you go back into the game review and you see and you're like, man, I would gladly lose a knight in exchange for a bishop.
That position was critical, but you didn't spend much time.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning here for in a learning aspect, when you're just studying games and you're trying to learn chess, it's easy to forget that, there's no time constraint there. You're looking at it, you're studying, then you actually get into a game like this rapid, 10 minutes. You don't have as much time to really spend sitting there, scratching your chin and figuring things out. But in hindsight, I mean, that would have been awesome, right? You take a pawn, you open up the king, and you get a free rook. Man.
This move fianchettos their bishop, placing it on a strong diagonal.
Yep, targeting my dark my dark squared bishop.
You are threatening to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades.
I'll be honest with you, I just want to do a pawn break in the middle might have not been a great idea.
They exchanged pieces of equal value. That was a fair trade.
Now, yeah, I took back.
They exchanged pieces of equal value.
All right, be quiet for a second. So yeah, I took back, but what I didn't realize is I left my dark square bishop wide open, and this is like, from my understanding of what I was, hearing, the dark squared bishop in that square on G7 in the Dragon Sicilian is very important, and I left it wide open to be taken. So I don't think that was the idea there. What I should have done is just take with the queen. Right? And on top of that, had I took with the queen, I was staring at that rook. That would have also been a free rook. I mean, I could have had this dude down. I could have had mid control and potentially took both rooks in the first. What move are we on? Within the first 10 moves. So, once again, hindsight's always 2020, but that's why we like doing these game reviews. We learn. We learn, we learn, we learn. And plus, had we took with the queen, we were in no immediate danger. Like, there was nothing to recapture. His queen's behind that pawn. We would have been perfectly fine.
They exchanged pieces of equal. That was a fair trade. This is a fair trade.
And there went the bishop. Stupid move by me. I should have kept the knight there. Took with the queen.
You recaptured the piece. Their bishop is a fianchettoed, ready to influence the board from the long diagonal.
Coming after my knight. I can't remember what I did right here.
Develops the bishop and supports the center.
Now, keep in mind that my knight is still protected by my queen. But that's it. We still have a rook and a knight over here I haven't done anything with. I should have at some point. Like I said, we're new. We're slacking a little bit.
Your opponent should be careful developing their queen this early.
Okay, he's attacking here. I was just moving my bishop here to start threatening some squares, get it in a more active position.
Your knight is undefended, so this move loses material.
Why I moved the knight here, I'm not 100% sure. I seen that his queen was starting to threaten over here. I was a little nervous. I didn't want to end up losing to something stupid. So I was thinking, hey, let's start pushing the knight over in that direction, kind of add a little extra layer of defense to it. That was the only thought process. And to be honest, even if he had went here, there's nothing my knight's going to be able to do from this position. I have these two squares covered. And I could always just recapture with the king. He doesn't have anything to immediately start threatening the h6 square from there. We can just, afterwards, we can move back to like G7 and so on and so forth. So I shouldn't have panicked there.
They took your knight for free.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to talk a little bit more. What did he...
Your knight is undefended.
Grabbed
they
my
took your knight
completely,
for free.
Yeah, completely took my knight for free. Left him wide open. Stupid mistakes.
You're kicking their bishop out of it. Decent move, but they had a better one.
So he picked up a knight and a pawn with that last squared bishop. From
You
here, I
calmly
just
stepped
moved my
the rook
rook
out of
over.
trouble. They moved the bishop to safety.
Like, I get pulling... I guess he didn't really have an option, did he? I mean, he could have pulled back to here and threatened the knight. But I guess he wanted to keep it on the board, so just pull it all the way back. Makes sense. Oh, yeah. You could come here and check the king.
You mobilized your knight, allowing it to control more of the board.
Oh, yeah, baby. Getting the knight involved. Finally.
Your opponent prepares to castle queenside and secure their king. You had a better option, but this is not bad.
Look, whenever I first made this move, I was thinking I didn't see this pawn. I completely disregarded that pawn. I was thinking, ooh, I got his king in check. going to have to move. For whatever reason, I didn't even see that he could just retake with the pawn. But the cool thing about it, even then, is it's also the bishop's attacking that square, the queen's attacking that square. So if he takes, we can retake with the bishop. And he really can't retake, because if he does with the queen, the only thing he has is retakes with the queen, and then we just take his queen. So I was lucky here that I had the board structured like this. I was very lucky. Otherwise, I could have been in a bad spot.
Taking your recapturing. They missed a chance to win a rook through an eventual fork.
And I'm glad they did.
Your opponent will have to keep an eye on that passed pawn.
Okay, so what I seen here, I had my rook on b8. It's just a free pawn. Right? And also in my head, I'm starting to think like, hey, so I could possibly move my queen out of the way, or I could even bring my queen over, double stack the rooks, whatever, and start to get like a strong attack on their king side. So that's what was going with my head. I seen a free pawn plus the potential to launch a big attack on their king.
That capture of your bishop will cause you to lose material after all the trades are made.
Look, I know this is computer talking. It's way smarter than me. But I tell you, as soon as he took this, the very first thing I seen was check on g5. Put my queen there, put his king into check, and then from there, I can double stack my rooks. And he's going to be in such a bad spot. That's what was going through my head. And it played out just
Good awareness
like so.
keeps the queen alive here.
I go there, put him in the check.
They move
he
their
moves
king
down.
out of the check from your queen.
Of course, he's threatening a rook, but we already got the idea. He can't take the rook because we're going to slide it over to b8.
You are threatening to checkmate the king.
Now, from here, whenever I was watching this, in real time, I was thinking, he could try to come here and stop the check, stop any queen activities, but that wasn't going to help anything because still it's just rook from b3 to b2 mate. Same thing if he tries to drop back with king. We just come all the way to b1. We're going to be good. Well, he can't even go there because the queen's already got it covered. But looking back at it, something he could have done was actually knight to b5. I would have had to have taken to keep my rooks double stacked and not lose this rook on b3. And then, he could have started actually getting the heck out of dodge. One of the big things, though, if I retake the knight at b5, he can capture that rook with his queen. Now, granted, after that, I'm going to use my rook to retake his queen, but he's still in the game. He's still got, 2 rooks to my rook and queen? Now, I'll take the rook and queen over the 2 rooks. Personally, as a new player, the queen can front, back, side to side diagonals. It makes new players panic, and it makes, the newer players that are using the piece feel a little bit more comfortable in comparison to the rooks. I know there's going to be some great players out there like, hey, I'll take 2 rooks any day of the week. Me, I want that queen. But yeah. That's what was going through my head at the end game. Unlucky for him, that didn't happen.
You are now able to checkmate the king.
I don't know. I guess he was thinking that maybe he would have a moment. And, would hopefully pressure me off, pressure my queen out. But literally, rook to b2
Checkmate is always the best move.
was checkmate. Once again, queen's got that file covered, He can't go there. He can't retake, can't drop down. And we won. That was our very first match with the Sicilian Dragon. Once again, I'm going to say this. Dude, your king's so nice and safe down there. You don't feel like you're under a lot of pressure. It feels like it's really hard for your opponents, even though they're white, to really launch a super good attack early on. So you know you got time to think, develop, and launch an attack yourself. I really enjoyed the Sicilian Dragon. Very fun, very fun. Still got a lot to learn though. Still got a lot to learn. With that said, I am Cheap. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and all that good jazz. We'll catch you in the next one.